Okay. All right. So I said I was going to do this video 2 videos ago. I decided to do the story video instead. Now I'm doing this video. So recently, well, not recently, semi-recently, in season 4, part 2, there was an issue with really the overall subplot. I think that the fandom had an icky feeling towards the overall subplot of Connie and Falco. Right? People thought that it was weak, and people had serious problems with certain lines that were actually mentioned in this. So let's talk about that. So this is gonna have to do with more with Annie, but Peak is also involved with this because I saw people going after Peak for this. The reason why is because everyone already hated Gabby, and I'm actually not gonna that defending Gabby is kicking a dead horse at this point. Everyone knows that you're a virgin if you don't like Gabby, or if you think that Gabby's character is bad, or if you're even still angry at Gabby. Everyone knows you're a virgin. So there's no really reason for me to go. I mean, I could make a really eloquent video about it. I'm not going to, because I like to make my channel unique. You get a bunch of people on YouTube. I want to make sure that my video essays are unique and they're actually informative, because there's a lot of SNK content out there. Believe me, I've looked. Anyway, so yeah, all the chats know that Gabby's fine. But I'm actually going to talk about the Connie and Falco subplot, in particular as regards to Annie and Peak, because the Gabby situation we're taking care of. Berthold's dead, and Reiner is Reiner. Again, you don't know what I'm talking about now, but after we get into this video, I'll tell you why I'm only talking about Annie and Peak. Okay, so there's a subplot where, I'm just going to refresh your memory, there's a subplot where he takes, Connie takes Falco along, and he takes him, he tricks him to almost get him to, he tricks him to almost get him to kill his mother, and then Armin jumps, and then Falco saves him, right? So people are upset. There's a couple problems with this. But they have number one, they just thought it was a weak plot. Number two, they thought they or like weak or irrelevant, which is which is ridiculous. It's stupid. It's not weak or relevant. And then there's number two, how Armin was stupid and how he almost gave up the strongest weapon that they have, which would be the colossal titan, to um to the not to the enemy, but to Connie's mom. They thought that was a stupid decision. And then of course, after this plot line was over, Annie meets up with them, and then Connie's like, oh, she's had enough fight for today, or she's had enough fight, or something along those lines. This happens after this. I don't know if it happens at the table or if it happens. No, they were upset that they were laughing with her at the table, and then they were upset about the on the boat, which is actually this is actually manga spoilers. This will I'm probably gonna try to stay away from manga spoilers. This will probably just be season 4, part 2 spoilers. So if you haven't read the manga, you're probably good to go. But again, as I said, and every time I break up a spoiler, I always say my channel is not spoiler friendly at all. It's extremely spoilery because the story changes a lot depending on where you are. Stuff becomes irrelevant, stuff becomes changed all the time. So it's very spoilery. But please do not watch any of these videos if you have not been caught up. It's a bad idea. There's no reason to click off right now and do something else. There's no reason to waste your time if you're going to get spoiled, because it's a great story and you should not spoil yourself. But anyway, let's continue. So they're on the boat, and then they get upset because she's like, oh, she's had enough fighting, because she after she figures out that her father dies, she gets upset about it, and she's like, and then Connie, says that stuff. But those, and again, the reason why I'm bringing up that boat scene, which is not even animated yet, as of May, what's the 24th? 24th, yeah. As of May 24th, it's not been animated yet. The reason why I'm not bringing it up, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because those are interconnected. As I've said a billion times, Izuyama is master of Chekhov's gun. Well, this is not, has nothing to do with Chekhov's gun. He is the master of Chekhov's gun. He's the master of foreshadowing. Everything in this story is packed with meaning. Again, one of the best examples of this is when we see Mikasa look at a praying mantis devour the butterfly. That was supposed to be some seemingly, unimportant thing that actually gets circled back around to. it Jen Psaki back into this amazing thing where it's about the praying mantis devouring the head of its lover, just like Mikasa cuts off Aaron's head, her lover. So it circled back in this amazing way of a seemingly irrelevant detail. And of course, he does this over and over and over and over and over and over again. I can bring up a bunch of examples, like Can in the Utgard Castle. Levi saying Aaron's a monster not because of his Titan form. I will destroy the entire world in Stohess, stuff like that. Again, all of you guys know how much of a master this is at foreshadowing, but so that situation with Connie and Falco is actually directly related to the situation on the boat. I'm going to explain why. The point of this plot line, the point of this subplot, was to really emphasize how sinful Connie is. That's what it was for, because this entire time, right, the Warriors and Mikasa, and the Warriors and Aaron, the Warriors and Aaron are already sinful people at this point, because he not only did he start Liberio, but he also is going to do the rumbling, right? So you're already like, okay, good guys turn bad guys turn good guys, and of course you got Gabby. So what I mean by bad guys turn good guys is you got Reiner and Annie. Well, if you're smart, you will understand where Annie's coming from. If you're dumb, you won't. But these people get turned, and Zeke. These people were bad guys. Now they're more sympathetic figures, more understandable figures. They're victims. And of course, there's Gabby, who's a selfish racist who gets transformed to being a selfless hero. She's a hero. And then, of course, you have Aaron turn to the kid who wants to defeat Titans, so the kid is using Titans to kill more people. So you got the whole it's a beautiful thing that he does, where he makes these characters things that you didn't think that they were, while still keeping them the same consistent, right? So it's basically trying to show, in war, there's really no bad guy or good guy. It's really just it's a mess. War's a mess. War's messy. War is hell, as the soldier said. Soldier didn't say it. I was just thinking of a photo where the soldier wrote on his helmet, but it's been said war is hell. So that's basically one of the themes that he's trying to convey. So that's why it's shown that Aaron is the bad guy, but Reiner's also a bad guy too, because you know what Reiner did. So is Zeke. So is Annie, and so is Gabi. But Mikasa, as I said in the other video, well, actually, this video got deleted, but she helped him commit this atrocity. Well, not atrocity. I mean, I don't consider it an atrocity, because he did declare war. So, I mean, hey, he knew what he was doing too. He knew what he was doing gathering all those people there. Really, Tiber. He knew what he was doing gathering all those people there. So, yeah. Again, I don't look at it as an atrocity. I look at it as an act of war, and it did buy them time. That attack was crucial to the rest of the story playing out as it did. But you could look at it. You could look at it as an atrocity if you want to look at it as an atrocity. So she helped him assist the atrocity and the killing of innocent children, and the general killing and destruction of people in their home, in that city. So her hands are entirely clean at all, right? But then we have, and Sasha got killed, right? So Sasha is dead. Erwin's dead. Who do we have left? Right? Who do we have left? Who is the other person? Because we got to make sure that I was trying to really hammer the point on that these guys are all bad people. They're really bad people. So where has Mikasa doing that? And again, later Mikasa will say that she wants to share in Aaron's sins. that line pissed me off so much, man. I swear. We already have Mikasa covered. Sasha's already dead, and honestly, again, as I and her father have pointed out, her death wasn't really a bad thing, because she was there to kill people to help Aaron. Essentially, if you can simplify it down, you could say that meant that she was killing people to kill. She was killing people so that Aaron could kill people, so he can kill people later, right? Because he was killing people in Barris that can kill the rest of the world of rumbling. So nothing really bad happened to Sasha. She was in a war. She fired shots. She killed people, and then she got killed herself by another soldier. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. All right, that kind of stuff happens. Right, and again, her father mentioned that as well. I don't remember the exact thing her father said, but I do remember her father was like, "Yeah, she got lost in the woods and she died in the woods," so something along those lines. And and also the fact that she's dead. But Connie was this person who was Sasha's partner in crime, always a jokester, always lighthearted, always this and that. But now he's thrust in this situation where he is a soldier and he's doing lore. And not only did he assist Aaron, now we get a one-on-one time with him. We get to really peel into his psyche because already are in Meek's psyche. We're already in Reiner, and later we'll be in Annie's psyche, and we get Peek's justification later on, and we already know about Zeke later on too. Well, actually, no. By the time the scene comes up, we already know about Zeke. So Connie goes up, and now we're really going to explore him. We're really going to know what is really going through this kid's head, and we see he's about to make this horrible decision. Not only horrible because he's about to kill the best, as far as morality goes, the best character in the show. Not only that, but he was selfishly going to revive his mother. And when I say selfishly, I don't mean he was selfish for wanting to revive his mother. I mean he was selfish because he knew his mother would not be better if he revived her using the Colossal. He knew that, but he was going to do it anyway. Right, and then of course he was, and then when Armin confronted on him, he still wasn't going to do it, and so Armin had to threaten his life and the Colossal, and then he did it. Then he snatched up Armin, and he saved the entire thing from happening. Now this does something very important, not only to the story and themes, but to Connie's character. This is why I brought Annie into this. It's specifically about him and Annie, because again, most of the controversy surrounds Annie, although Peek also gets dragged into this because she's in pretty much the same situation Annie's in. So Armin prevents Connie's mom from inheriting the Colossal and from, not the Colossal, but the Colossal or the Jaw. And then Connie realizes his mistake, and then he realizes that he's actually a really horrible person because he was about to kill another child who did nothing wrong to him at all. And that is when his sense of moral high ground deteriorated, because this entire time they were walking around themselves, calling themselves, they're thinking of themselves as brave heroes and the good guys. And this actually changed in season 3. Funny enough, Armin was like, they were torturing the MPs, which, while a complex situation in itself, they were torturing the MPs. And then Armin's like, you know what this means, guys, right? We're not the good guys anymore. We're not. We went from killing. He didn't actually say. He did say we're not the good guys anymore. But I'm adding this part in next. He said we went from killing, mindless titans who needlessly ate humans to torturing human beings and manipulating them. Yeah, we're not the good guys anymore. We had now have human blood on our hands. And I, of course, laughed at Armin because I'm like, well, I mean, what has to be done, Armin. I mean, this stuff has to get figured out. And then Aaron was like, what has to be done has to be done. And then I'm like, oh, that's what you mean. But here's the thing: the difference between me and someone who laughed at Armin, I still don't think Aaron's a villain or a bad guy for doing the rumbling. Right? You may think that, and again, that's why when I ask, well, what line do you cross to become the bad guy? Because they tortured people. I mean, sure, they were bad people, but they also were keeping the peace, and they also generally did a good job of keeping the peace. And what they were doing really wasn't that as bad as people said it was. Right? And again, the real person to blame is King Fritz, as I said, because the MPs wouldn't have to do any of this performative nonsense hadn't I been for Carl Fritz. But yeah, so then Aaron does that because again, the same justification that was used for torturing and manipulating the MPs in that sticky situation was the same justification used by Aaron to start rumbling. But anyway, so they're not the good guys anymore. They've lost her mohawk. Mika has lost her mohawk. And she already said she wants to share in Aaron's sins. She said that. And the only people left to pick on in this situation. Actually, no, there's some people left to pick on. I'm got sidetracked, but then we come to the pie scene. Directly after this scene, Annie shows up eating pie. This is not an accident. Again, you're almost in. There's a time to have criticism about Isayama or Isayama's story, and then you go into straight insulting. This is one of those times where it's hard to discern whether you are just being flat out insulting towards Isayama or you are delivering valid criticism. Listen, there's a reason why the pie scene happens direct. I really should mute this phone whenever I do these videos. There's a reason why the pie scene happens directly after the Falco situation. Because he's establishing that Connie's moral high ground is gone. Everyone at that table is a filthy monster. Okay? Armin is a filthy monster. He destroyed the Navy by himself with no help from anybody else. And he got to see the people, and then he connected it to Berthold. So now he feels the same as Berthold feels. He feels just as filthy and dirty as Berthold feels. Okay? Armin's there. I don't actually remember who else was there, but I know that, again, Connie was there. I think Gabi was also there, too. Maybe. These people, now Annie shows up after all these years, and she's really not the bad guy anymore. Because not only did they see what was going on in Marley and how why she took the path that she took, not only did they see that, but they also saw how filthy their own selves were and how far they were willing to go to accomplish their goals in the situation that they were put in. Again, Connie just got done trying to kill an innocent child to revive his mother, even though that would be detrimental to her. He was about to do that. So he has, again, and you could say, well, I mean, he was about to kill one innocent person, and he killed multiple innocent people, so technically Connie shouldn't feel, Connie still has moral superiority over her because he killed those people. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Because he was thinking, when he was seeing the female Titan tearing up people, he's like, I would never do that. What a horrible monster. What kind of person would kill someone? He was thinking that. So when he doesn't, and when he gets in that headspace to do it himself, and when he already assisted someone to do that himself, now he's like, I am just as bad as you. And quite frankly, he is. And that is why, again, he's not gonna split hairs over who committed more sins or who did what worst thing. He's like, yeah, you're a killer, I'm a killer. We're both killers. I mean, could you imagine if Ryan was like, well, technically, Berthold, you killed less people, so you're the cleanest. I mean, you only kill 50 people, I kill 55 people. No, ridiculous. They both all feel like they're the same amount of people, and they all have, the three of them have drastically different kill counts. The three of them have drastically different kill counts. So, but they all feel responsible. This is the same. Berthold wouldn't take moral high ground over Reiner because he's killed less people than Reiner. Ridiculous. And then of course, there's the boat scene. Which again, people were also upset about. Why do you insist on getting upset about the stupidest things? Why? Is it like fun for you to get like triggered? I know some people like to get triggered, but like now season 4 is coming out. The last arc, you guys are getting triggered over absolutely nothing. But she's done, and then people are upset that they weren't that he wasn't angry or chewing. I've seen a pattern where like you guys want melodrama. Honestly, that's what it looks like. You guys want melodrama. Same thing with the whole Armin and Aaron thing. You want this melodramatic, stupid ass Armin be like, oh, how is this freedom? This is not right. I'm gonna fight you till the end. And then Aaron's like, yo, you don't understand, Armin. This is for Parody's future. It's like this melodramatic surface level battle. You, instead of having an emotionally complex, nuanced, applicable real world theme, you wanted Connie to get up there and start ripping Annie over killing innocent people right after right after he got done killing somebody else. Oh, you people are hilarious. But yeah, so that's part one. I'm actually gonna do part two later. But yeah, that's part one. Part two is gonna be about the boat. Stick around for the next part. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself. This has been Billy with the Jaegers, and I'll see you in the next video, or the next part.